The opinions expressed by the host and guest on this program are solely their own and do not represent the views or opinions of Blind United. We strive to provide diverse perspectives and discussions on our platform, but the opinions expressed should be understood as personal viewpoints and not reflective of Blind United as an organization.
It's time. It's time for
coffee time.
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 And here is your coffee time crew.
Well, good Thursday morning, and as always, welcome back to Coffee Time with Blind United. Just me and my brother Pedro here today, so good morning, Pedro.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
So we got one interest group for you today. If you like doing podcasts and whatever, you ever thought about it or whatever, we got George Zavala with the Art of Podcasting, so he's always willing to offer, tips and whatever on, different types of equipment and editing and all that other kind of stuff you might need. So come on out and check us out at 6 o'clock. Go ahead,
over 10 years of experience, guys. George has a few podcasts. He's interviewed politicians. He interviews local leaders at his community out there in El Paso. So come in and join us. George has a lot of valuable information regarding podcasts and other subjects, but this one is, concentrating on podcasting.
Well, and he also he kind of focuses on our community and how we have to access some of the software that ain't necessarily always accessible to us. So but anyway, he's been using them since like I say, over 10 years now, so he's gotten pretty good at it. And recently he's learned some new tips and tricks on how to get stuff done on platforms that he was previously unable to do. So anyway, come out, check him out tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So anyway, I kind of geared today towards my brother Pedro. He likes, I think, pretty much everything I got going on today. So this first one is about I don't know what they calling it, a black hole collision. Wow.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, check this one out and we'll talk about it on the other side.
Hello, Blind United crew. Grab your first cup, because we are venturing deep into the cosmos to explore a story of immense power and profound mystery, using ripples in space-time first predicted by Albert Einstein. An international team of scientists has detected the most massive black hole merger ever observed. The signal, which was recorded on November 23, 2023, and designated GW231123, was just a fleeting whisper in the cosmos, lasting only a tenth of a second. But its implications are monumental. This cosmic collision involved two enormous black holes, one roughly 100 times and the other 140 times the mass of our Sun. They spiraled into each other at incredible speeds before merging to form a new, even more massive black hole weighing in at about 225 times the mass of the Sun. The sheer scale of this event is difficult to comprehend. The energy released in that fraction of a second, rippling out as gravitational waves, was more than 10 times the energy our Sun will produce in its entire 10 billion-year lifetime. This incredible discovery was made possible by the LIGO Virgo Cagra (LVK) collaboration, a network of gravitational wave observatories in the United States, Italy, and Japan. These laser interferometers are some of the most sensitive instruments ever built, capable of detecting distortions in the fabric of space-time smaller than the width of a proton. The detection of GW231123 pushes this technology to its absolute limits and provides a spectacular confirmation of Einstein's theories, a decade after the first gravitational waves were ever detected. What makes this cosmic collision so significant, beyond its record-breaking size, is that it challenges our fundamental understanding of how black holes form and grow. According to current models of stellar evolution, stars of a certain size shouldn't be able to collapse into black holes this massive. They should blow themselves apart in a supernova. The existence of these two giant black holes suggests they may have been formed through a process called hierarchical merging, meaning each of them might be the result of previous, smaller black hole collisions. This event provides the first strong evidence for a long-sought-after class of objects known as intermediate-mass black holes, the missing link between the smaller stellar mass black holes and the supermassive giants that sit at the center of galaxies. It's a major clue in solving the puzzle of how those galactic monsters came to be. This discovery doesn't just confirm what we know, it opens up a whole new frontier of questions about the most extreme objects in our universe. The universe has a way of showing us just how much we still have to learn. When you think about the sheer scale of an event like this, what does it make you feel? Awe, curiosity, or something else entirely? We invite you to share your cosmic perspective in the comments. Now back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts.
Well, I hope it all made sense to you, my brother, because it's Chinese to me. I mean, other than when I'm sighted and enjoying the beauty of laying out in the country and looking up at the stars and enjoying all that beauty, I don't know nothing about out there. And, I'm not going to say that I really don't. I don't know. It's just never been something that I was interested in, but I know you are, my brother. So, what does all this mean? I mean, again, we're talking about now black holes can merge with other black holes. I mean, that's what I'm getting out of the article.
Yes, that's one of the theories. But let's start from the LEGO Observatory is a laser type of system that they used that detected the first gravity waves. Gravity waves were introduced by Albert Einstein. He theorized that these waves, um, existed. Um, he got met by pushback. But with these new instruments, a lot of his theories have been coming known facts. And the theory we have of black holes was that black holes got massive because of them swallowing up debris and planets and suns, or when suns collapse and they become a brown dwarf, or they become a black hole. Sometimes it's either or. Um, but having this new insight, and this theory always kind of has been there, that there's black holes that collide and become massive. But that's true, there is something missing on how they become so massive like that, because we do have black holes that are small, and the middle ground is kind of like we're off lost from the middle ground. We don't know how they become super massive. You heard that this one is 240 times the size of our sun, and that is massive to think about. And you have two big black holes colliding, and the energy that they put out, these gravity waves bend. And we know from the theory of the theory of Albert Einstein, what he put out, the theory of relativity and all that, that gravity bends time. When you have like a massive object and you get close to it, for you time slows because of the gravity. The further you are into space, and time dilation happens. So these gravity waves come and they kind of stretch, and then when they leave, they kind of go back to normal. So this can have some time dilation effects. In theory, the way things are kind of set up, this can have some time dilation effects. That'd be nice if they could study that with these instruments, because to study these gravity waves, you need really, really sensitive lasers that, like they said in the article, They can detect the movement of space smaller than a particle. That's like, whoa, the precision and all that is able to be accomplished. The technology is growing. The technology of the infrared telescope, I forgot the name of it, but the one that's able to look back to the beginning of our galaxy, and we're getting so much different data that you know is giving us new questions and things like so it's giving us new questions like if we see we see galaxies in the beginning of the universe, and they're massive galaxies, and that's unexplainable. Sometimes there shouldn't be mature galaxies in the beginning of the universe. So that's more questions. The more instrumentations we have, the more questions we got, and the more answers we get, and uh, theories get to be proven a fact. But yes, that's why I like the universe. The universe holds so much, holds our history, us as a people. I know we like to kind of center ourselves in the earth, but the universe is it's our home, where it's where we came from. So knowing where we came from, knowing that we are dust, stardust. That's where we're made of. Stardust. All this, you know, it's amazing, because what scientists are figuring out and finding out, and I always assumed this myself as I was in school, a the way a atom and the electrons uh orbit around it and stuff like that looks like a little solar system. It looks like a little solar system, like our sun and the planets rotating around it. They have the same type of model when it comes to the small and to the massive, so I don't know. There's some correlations there that scientists and this new frontier of this new type of instruments. It's it's amazing. It's amazing because to me, I like to know all that stuff, and we got all kinds of new different discoveries, like planets that are made out of water, but not air. But you know what I mean. So it's crazy. In the 90s, we thought there was no other planet like ours but ours. Every planet was dead, and or we just the only solar system with planets. But that's out the window. Now we know almost every star, every star has billions of stars, have a few planets rotating around it. If we have billions of stars and there's a few planets rotating around it, we can assume there's trillions of planets.
I mean, I hear you. Again, not trying to be funny or nothing, but just keeping it 100. You ain't explained a damn thing to me. But anyway,
Okay, ask me
so
the
what? No,
question.
no,
Ask me
no.
the question.
That part right there. So you made mention of these black holes. I mean, I heard the article say that stars should not be able to be swallowed up. They should be do their thing and
No,
blow up, right?
no,
But
not
then
swallowed up. That's incorrect.
you also made, well, I'm just saying what the article said. But again, you made the statement that planets and stuff could be gathered up and swallowed up by these black holes. Okay,
Hmm.
so what does that mean? I mean, do they just disappear? I mean, is there something beyond the entrance to that black hole?
Okay, we cannot see inside of a black hole and see what happens. We could theorize right now because no light escapes a black hole. Once you hit the event horizon, it's like imagine going to a roller coaster ride. You get to the very top. Once you start heading down, there ain't no way back out. You're going through the ride and you're going in. You're not coming out. There's no light. There's nothing comes out of a black hole. And when the suns can get swallowed up, but suns can collapse and become a black hole when they have a lot of mass, you know. But yes, if a sun gets close to a black hole that's a massive black hole, you can see the black hole just pulling out the plasma, everything from the sun, and just swallow it up. And they have recorded that sometimes when black holes swallow up massive objects, they have a little burp after, you know? So it
So
is
you
crazy.
trying to say that a black hole is a living, breathing thing or something? Is
No,
a
but think about when you compress something, even when we compressing something, a compressor is pushing out kind of like air and stuff. So a black hole is compressing all this mass and all this matter that it's kind of like, it's the theory, but you will come to the conclusion, yeah, they have to kind of like not burp but spit out a little something, because it just compressed a lot of stuff, you
uh,
know. It
oh
is.
well, I mean, again, I mean, I mean, I know that they've been studying this. I mean, let's go here.
Hmm.
Hell, even Einstein, he didn't have nowhere near the technology we have now. So,
Hmm.
I mean, it was amazing for him to be able to, detect these ripples in like I said,
All
in
by
most,
math, all by math.
again, I get it, but again, I'm glad that his theories are now becoming fact based. But again, it's just. I guess if you ain't into it, it just don't make any goddamn sense at all. You
But
know what I'm saying?
this raises a lot of questions, and I know I might not be into it, but look, just like we have suns and they emit light, we also have something called a dark sun that is in these theories of general relativity. That they could be a dark star. That's what they call it. Just like how uh we have a black hole, we can there's a theory of a white hole that we're still looking for, but the theory, instead of it sucking up everything and you can't escape it, this white hole actually throws out like matter from it. So there's new
Okay.
theories and new things in the horizon, but all this type of things that we have to find out creates technology for us that comes end up being in the public sector. So this is all good.
I hear you. Well, I'm gonna leave it to all the quantum physicists and let them work it all out, and hopefully at some point they'll be able to translate it in terms that the average person can understand. Because I'm being honest, I don't understand a lot of it, man. I really don't. Like I said, other than looking up at the stars from a a mountaintop or whatever, laying out and enjoying the beauty of it and all of that. It just don't make a whole lot of sense to me. So,
Think about
but
this question. When you're sitting there and looking at the stars and you see them, just imagine you're rotating a massive black hole. We are rotating around one as we speak. It is super
um,
far from us because we're in one of the outer leg, one of the outs, like around the arms and the outer part of the arm of the Milky Way. So we're not so much in the center. But yeah, every galaxy, only a few galaxy has been found with no black hole in the center. So almost
uh,
every galaxy has one.
well, thanks for that update. But again, I mean, again, it's for those that are interested. I know this is probably fascinating as hell. You know what I'm saying? It's not my thing. It's just not my thing. That's all I can say. It's just not my thing. So. Now, ask me how a combustion engine works. I'm good. I can tell you all of that. What does a carburetor do? What does a distributor do? All that other kind of stuff. But when you get to talking about,
I don't know that stuff.
you know what I'm saying? So I maybe that's it. I'm more inclined to, go with what I can put my hands on. You know what I'm saying? So, but it is what it is. I mean, again, it's again, this is nothing new. I mean, this is well, a new development, but the study of the galaxies and universes and stars and planets and black holes, all that stuff has been going on for man hundreds, if not thousands of years. So
Hmm.
we're just gaining more and more technology that's allowing us to learn more and more about it. That's where we at this point. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and jump into a couple more comments, and I'm sorry, a couple of promos, and then we'll get into the next article.
Did you know that people in third world countries do not have access to canes? The You Can Give initiative gives canes to people all over the world who cannot get canes. The You Can Give initiative not only goes to these countries and gives people canes, but they give people canes and a digital recorder that is solar powered that has instructions on how to use the cane and instructions on how to repair the cane. The You Can Give initiative is a very worthy cause, giving canes to blind people all over the world. If you have a cane that you're no longer using, or a cane that's broken or bent, you can go to youcangive.org and get a shipping label, and you can ship your cane to Jimmy in Tennessee, and he will refurbish it and give your cane to a blind person in a third world country. That website again is youcangive.org.
Hustling jingles, $10 a shot. Birthday beats and holiday knocks. Gotcha covered for the ones you love. Personalized joy like a custom glove. Get your jingle hot and fresh. Info at blindunited.org. $10 only, no more, no less. We make memories you can't afford. Got a catchy tune for your babe. Poppin' beats like dreams we crave. For Mama's Day or Papa's cheer, let's make smiles from ear to ear. Get your jingle hot and fresh. Info at blindunited.org. $10 only, no more, no less. We make memories you can't afford.
All right. Again, the cane thing about the canes, whatever. I mean, man, when you're coming out to any of our Blind United events, please bring a cane. You got an opportunity to win a prize there. We do everything we can to support Jimmy. So, as well as our jingles, that's the way we help support ourselves. But again, it's for any occasion. I mean, it's custom made. My brother does a great job putting that stuff together. So if you're interested in something special for somebody graduation, birthday, promotion on the job, whatever the case may be, we can get a jingle hooked up for you. So anyway, come check us out with that. So this next one, again, is still inside your wheelhouse, my brother. This next one is about cyber attacks and people hacking in on us. So check this one out, and we'll let Pedro explain it on the other side.
All right, Blind United crew, grab your next cup as we turn to a critical issue of national security that affects every one of us in the digital age. Current and former U.S. officials are issuing stark warnings that Chinese government-sponsored hacking attacks have become more sophisticated, aggressive, and widespread than ever before. The threat has evolved far beyond simple espionage or intellectual property theft. The new focus of state-backed hacking groups, such as the one publicly identified as Volt Typhoon, is to infiltrate and preposition themselves within America's most sensitive critical infrastructure networks. This includes telecommunications, the energy grid, and water systems. The goal, officials say, is not just to steal information, but to have the ability to cause real-world disruptive and destructive effects in the event of a major international conflict. These Chinese hacking groups have become masters of stealth, using a technique called living off the land. Instead of deploying custom malware that can be easily detected, they gain access to a network and then use the system's own built-in tools and administrative credentials to move around undetected. This allows them to blend in with normal network traffic, making their malicious activity incredibly difficult to spot. They can remain hidden inside a network for months or even years, mapping out systems and identifying key vulnerabilities. In one recently disclosed incident, hackers were inside the systems of a Massachusetts utility company for nearly a year before being discovered. The U.S. government, from the NSA to the FBI and CISA, has been engaged in a high-stakes game of cat and mouse with these groups. While officials recently stated they were successful in disrupting the Volt Typhoon campaign and forcing the hackers to change tactics, they warn that the threat is persistent and constantly evolving. The Chinese government operates what officials call a whole ecosystem of cyber warfare, leveraging not just government agencies, but also academia and private industry to find and exploit vulnerabilities. Recent reports from ProPublica have also raised alarms about potential vulnerabilities within the Defense Department's own cloud systems, highlighting how pervasive the threat has become for everyday citizens. This invisible conflict has real-world consequences. The security of our personal data, the reliability of our power and water, and the integrity of our communication systems are all at risk. This new era of cyber warfare is not about a single, massive attack, but a persistent, low-and-slow campaign to gain a strategic advantage that could be leveraged at any moment. It underscores the urgent need for a more resilient and secure digital infrastructure for all aspects of American life. The threat of cyber attacks on critical infrastructure is a constant and evolving challenge. How does the reality of this invisible warfare make you think about your own personal cybersecurity and the safety of our public utilities? Share your thoughts and concerns in the comments. Now back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts.
Well, my first thought is, man, there's a great opportunity for people to get into cybersecurity because it's ever evolving, it's most definitely necessary. And these folks, just like I learned a long, long time ago, all the, and alarms and all this other kind of stuff, all that stuff it does is keep honest people honest. People that want to get in, whether it's stealing your stuff, stealing your information, breaking into these databases and stuff, they're gonna keep trying until they get in. So cybersecurity is, if anybody's trying to think of a good paying career, I think that is one. So go ahead and explain this a little bit more, Pedro. How vulnerable are we?
We are vulnerable, especially when we don't want to spend in our infrastructure, like the Build Back Better bill was going to concentrate on electric companies and infrastructure within that. But that tells you again, these are private companies and we're subsidizing and we were going to give them more money, period. I believe, right? If we want to combat this and we only have the NSA, the FBI, and right, and that's a government agency, and they're playing cat and mouse with them, we need to invest in our education and start having classes within middle school, concentrating on cyber things, programming, data analysis, stuff like that. That's gonna benefit our our future because the Chinese government, what they have done and what I have observed and what I observed from us is like we have a tactic to go and try to bam beat the countries over the head with a hammer, like listen to us. The Chinese government pulls up and say, hey, let me help you build your home, let me help you build your sidewalks or your roads and boo boo boo, and become friend with them. They befriend them even though they have ulterior motives. So knowing from that situation and others and the tactics they use as a as a having a
Strategic.
tact, yeah, there you go, thank you. And moving as a full body in a government and thinking like CIA type of mentality, you will position yourself where you can in these infrastructures and things like that, for even like the article says, for future conflicts. You already have sleeper cells. The you With this new administration, I hate coming back to it, but they cut back our safety nets, but our programs that watch out for scams, for programs that watch out for this. Um, you know, we need to push and make these utility companies, especially for our infrastructure, they need to be uh um what's the term I'm looking for? Instead of being a private company, they need to be a public utility company that needs to be in high regulations on it, especially when it comes to their infrastructure and access to their in-home network that may control transformers and other
Isn't
equipment.
isn't this the kind of systems that they get that we were just recently talking about? What's his name? Theo, that wants to do all the AI stuff. I know he in the article we did on him, it said that he provides these types of systems for the government.
Yeah. Hmm.
You know, I mean, again, evidently they not working. These
Well,
people are still getting in.
Well, the people are getting in into the public sector, meaning this is private companies, and those where these companies are at, they're in the public type sector. They're not in the private government funded type sector because you don't hear about people cracking the NSA computer or FBI computers. They know better to go to government type because they're going to be watching their networks. That's what we need right here in the 21st century when warfare includes cyber warfare. We need to be prepared, and we're not prepared, and we're dropping the ball by not funding our education. We don't fund our education. We need to start with our kids and getting them into cyber stuff, getting them into
Well, I
programming and
agree.
knowing.
I agree on the educational side of it, but I'm sorry. I'm coming back to this. If he's providing these systems, I mean, I hear what you're saying that you don't hear about people going after NSA and CIA and all that stuff, but the article clearly stated that our government's data is at risk as well. And again, I'm going back to this cat. He's supposed to be providing. He's got a government contract. He's selling this stuff to the government, right? So
Selling what?
the security. The security. He's selling them data software that's supposed to be constantly scanning all of the government stuff to like they said, where they're just getting in and they're moving around like with the public, and
Hmm.
be able to detect that what we want to call it, unusual activity, if you will.
Yes, but they're using a different tactic. They're used to finding out exploits like malware and
Like
things that you say,
backdoors and creating backdoors and
yeah,
hacking in and
that's
whatever.
detectable to a certain point. But the thing is that these hackers have legit credentials. So when you have a username and your passwords, you open these doors and there is no red flag pushed because you have access. So it's hard to pinpoint where they're at until they change something in within the network or in the computers, and it's logged and they could find it. They will have a certain way where, oh, there's activity that we don't know what the hell is this. But if they
Right.
don't do nothing and they stay around and look, because look, hacking, there's legal ways of hacking and there's the illegal way of hacking. I could get in a computer, right, and be in someone's network, and I could be watching. As long as I don't change anything or or try to do some malfeasance activity, there's no hacking type of charges. I was just in their network, and that's their fault for not having a secure network. Until I go and change one of their files, that's considered already tampering and hacking.
Well, I mean, so let me give it to you in a way that maybe I'll understand it.
Hmm.
So let's just say, like with my medical portal, I have a password. I can get in there. I can go into my pad
Hmm.
portal and I can explore my stuff, right? So as long as I'm doing that, everything is good. But the minute I try to log in through my password and then start trying to access stuff that I don't have access to, they should throw up a red flag.
What you won't have access to. The thing is, you have a user type password. What these people most likely have is an administrative and high level one at that they're able to see all these information and pinpoint different other parts where it's vulnerable to attacks, you know. And
Well, I mean, it wouldn't
even
have,
copying the information is already considered tampering as well, so that's another
right.
thing.
But again, so now I'm going here. I get what you're saying. So bottom line, my doctor has more access to the portal than I do.
A little more, but not
You
like
know what
an
I'm saying?
administrator. Your doctor is not an administrator.
Right. But my point being, we're talking about different levels of access, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why are they not verifying those access points? Whenever somebody is granted access or somebody has access,
They
whatever,
do.
they need to scan them on a regular basis and make sure that the access that's given is actually to people they want to have it rather than somebody that found a way in.
Yeah, yeah, and they do have certain two-factor identification. I know sometimes when a nurse forgets their login, they could call in and they get sent out something and they could change their password and all that. And that does happen, but you know, if you have a well-protected password, it's most likely they're not gonna get access. A lot of us and a lot of people in these positions, they end up either visiting a website, logging in somewhere they don't, uh, having an easy password, allowing a email that comes in that looks legit and they didn't run a scan on it, and then boom, they're in the network. Or, once they're able to change credentials and to get in full access in the network, they're able to run around and when these software that detects malware can't detect activity, because you're gonna have to need something that, let's say, okay, you have 100 people, right? They all got passwords, right? But now you need a system that will log all that out and needs to go all and review all that. And then you're gonna need people to call these people. It's gonna require more, but they probably don't even have that type of money, you know? And I think cybersecurity should be handled half with the government as well, with these public sectors, especially when it comes to utilities and train stations and airlines. Okay.
Well, I mean, I agree as well. And then we'll just go back a few months back. What was it?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, last year, I think it was, wasn't it? When the medical group that
Oh yeah.
Monica got hacked into and all
Mm-hmm.
that. I mean, I know it was kind of a different thing because they kind of held it hostage, right? But again, all of this stuff is vulnerable. I mean, even with my portal, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we way out here in California, right? And I got a whole different insurance, but folks like where my daughter is down in Florida, they literally use the same portal.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
there for dignity and all that kind of stuff, dignity health, right?
Yes.
So again, they could you got nationwide access to people's medical records and all the personal information and all this other kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. That's what I'm
Mm.
saying. I don't know. Again, I get what you're saying,
It's not
but these
secured. I'm
people
just
are not
letting y'all
using
know.
they're not using malware like you said. They're just coming in under somebody's authorization, and
Mm-hmm.
then like they said, they're just in there bumping around,
Just
paying
sitting there,
attention
yeah.
to what's going on. Just like they were discussing as far as the energy thing and up in the Northeast up there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they had been in there for over a year before they got found out.
Mm-hmm. And
You
then
know,
there's more activity, and we need to figure out something. We need to figure out something before it's too late, because um with the way the landscape is looking, we do need to take care of our cybersecurity, our cyber infrastructure. Um, you know, that includes cell towers, that includes all that. All these people that work on cell towers and these ministries that have passwords and all this, um it could become vulnerable. They could cut off our communication to our our air force, or our army. um I know they were talking about Skynet has different contracts with different countries, and they supply our army. I think that's a conflict of interest right there.
I think you're talking about Starlink.
There you go. Thank you so much. Sorry, I knew I was.
Skynet was
Oh my
terminated,
god.
dog.
Well,
Remember?
Skylink is, it's almost, because I already know where Elon Musk is going. He's gonna want to put AI in these satellites, all of them, and imagine a AI orbiting, not bound to the floor, not bound to the ground, uh,
Uh,
reminiscent of Skynet. But we do need to take cybersecurity really, it's an issue that
It's a
we need
number
to.
one priority. I
Hmm.
mean, as far as our cyber infrastructure, it should be the number one priority on that. You know,
So yeah, think about this. Imagine sleeper cells all over the country. All of a sudden, there's a hot summer or a cold winter, and they turn off everything just to have it attack. Because when countries go to war, citizens is the ones that suffer, the public. So
well, I
remember
mean, I
that.
hear you. Well, again, we're gonna maybe we need to start doing a little bit more. I mean, I know we do often try to, let people know how to protect themselves, but again, we got to come up with other ways to and do more to inform our folks how to protect themselves. So, but anyway, we're at that point in the show, so let's go ahead and get a couple more promos, and we'll get into our last article. Did you know Blind United offers free training in assistive technology? We call them interest groups. We offer training in JAWS, NVDA, iPhone, iPad, as well as Meta Ray-Bans. We also have groups like support group, cooking groups, and crafting groups. There are also groups for entertainment like movie night and RS game night. For more information about all the interest groups that we offer, just email us at info@blindunited.org or visit our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Group. We would love to have you be part of the Blind United crew.
Yo, coffee time crew, it's about to get live. Blind United's throwing it back, 1995. On July 26th, the place to be. From 1 to 6, come and party with we. Just 20 to 5, that's all you pay. To vibe with the drive, the 90s way. Tootsie Roll, Running Man, and the Roger Rabbit. Biggie on the track, and we gotta have it. Stone Cold, The Rock, bringing all the hype. Snapbacks, cross colors, the 90s type. So call your crew and step through the door. Blind United's 90 jam, can't ignore. Saturday the 26th, it's going down. Where the love is loud and the beats are style.
All right, y'all. Man, I hope everybody that wants to get a seat has already gotten a seat. Plans to plans on being a one hell of a celebration. 90s party, throwback. People get out their 90s gear, they cross colors and all that other good stuff, whatever, and working on their running man and all that kind of stuff. But bottom line, we plan on having a lot of fun. So if you're interested in coming to hang out with us again, you can always reach out to info@blindunited.org, and I can make sure that you get, all the information you need. Basically, all you got to really do is just sell your money, your donation to Blind United at 2022 at gmail.com, and that'll lock you in, and we'll look forward to having fun with you. So, anyway, I don't know if you know about this one or not, Pedro. You know about the collaboration between Samsung and Apple?
No.
Okay, well, check this article out, and maybe you learn something.
Hello, Blind United crew. Grab your last cup as we look at the latest chapter in the evolution of the smartphone and what it could mean for the future of accessible technology. The long-running rumor of a foldable iPhone appears to be closer than ever to becoming a reality, as multiple supply chain reports indicate Apple is officially tapping its rival, Samsung Display, to begin mass production of foldable screens later this year. According to industry analysts like Ming-Chi Kuo and reporting from CNET and others, This move is in preparation for Apple to release its first foldable device, potentially called the iPhone Fold or iPhone Flip, in late 2026. While Apple is famously late to the foldable phone party, its entry is expected to be a game changer, largely because of its intense focus on one key detail, creating a display with a nearly invisible crease for years. One of the biggest complaints about existing foldable phones has been the noticeable crease or seam in the middle of the screen where it folds. According to the reports, Apple has been working with Samsung Display to engineer a custom solution that uses a specialized metal plate under the panel to evenly distribute stress, aiming to make the fold line feel and look perfectly flat when the device is open. This attention to detail is classic Apple, waiting until the technology meets its high standards rather than rushing a product to market. This partnership is significant, as it leverages Samsung's years of experience in foldable screen manufacturing while pushing them to create a next-generation product specifically for Apple, while most of the discussion has been about the design. The potential for a foldable iPhone to be a powerful accessibility tool is immense. For users with low vision, a device that fits in your pocket like a standard phone but opens up into a larger, tablet-sized screen offers the best of both worlds. It means more space for larger text, making reading easier without excessive scrolling, and the ability to zoom in on images and see more detail than ever before. It could effectively combine the portability of an iPhone with the larger visual real estate of an iPad mini, creating a single, powerful device for both communication and visual access. This isn't just about a bigger screen. It's about more versatile and discrete access. A user could quickly check a notification on the smaller, front-facing screen without drawing attention, then open it up to a larger display when they need to comfortably read an email or a document. While we won't know the full extent of the accessibility features until Apple makes an official announcement, the very form factor of a high-quality, reliable foldable phone represents a major step forward in creating more adaptable and powerful tools for the blind and low-vision community. They paint a picture of a future where our devices are more integrated, more connected, and potentially more accessible than ever before. What are your thoughts on this? We'd love to hear them. Now back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts.
Well, although I am truly, happy for the advancements in the technology, like you say, creating a foldable screen per se that may not necessarily have that seam in it anymore, is a great thing for, especially for those that can see it and use all of that. I mean, but the way they're describing it, I mean, I don't need a tablet. I know my brother Pedro, he's got his, iPads and stuff like that as well. But, to get a phone is good enough for me. It sounds like I'd be able to just use my phone from the smaller outside screen and would never have to unfold it to use the inside, But, I don't know. What you think about this thing, Pedro?
Yeah, yeah. There's been rumors. No, well, let me start off by saying I do have my devices. I stay away from iPads. iPads are cool, guys, but I rather have a MacBook. The shortcuts on the keyboard. You can add a keyboard to the iPad. It makes it easier for blind people, but these devices split screens and have multiple uses, so it can complicate some uses for some blind individuals. Yes, but the rumor has been that they've been wanted a foldable phone. They were concentrating on the foldable part. And as the article stated, the biggest thing was the crease. And Apple's been working on different tactics and different hinges for their phone and their computer because they want a computer that you're able to fold back the screen all the way. So they've been working on certain technologies. They've been putting out patents. They've been putting out this patent for the foldable iPhone for like 4 or 5 years already, almost. But this technology can be a game changer even for the high partials or low partials. And sometimes we need a bigger screen to zoom in to see some stuff, or even when you're working and you want to split your screen, and put one screen next to the other and able to see content. That'd be pretty dope for me. Able to have two open side applications, and this is a clunchable. This is able to be done with an iPad, but not an iPhone. But this could change that as well. You know, and Apple does like to create products that are high quality and sets them away from everybody else. Because as we remember, we had the what was it, the Samsung Flip, I guess,
Yeah.
and it was having problems. The crease became more visible, and in the middle it felt like plastic, and you know I don't know how much resolution can you get from that. The fold distorts a little bit, the plastic distorts a little bit. You putting your finger greases on the screen, and it's a slight plastic part right there. It's gonna start turning yellowish, and you know what I mean. So different problems they probably ran into. A lot of people, well, a lot of companies did ran and put out phones, but where are those phones at right now? Some were recalled, some were not. It was just it sounds like a practical idea, but wasn't. I guess they didn't put too much design or thinking on it. That will also need to be designed within Android. Android is the OS, and it will require, and Apple most likely is going to require a different type of iOS pretty soon with that could combine the extra
Right.
screen. You
But
know.
what the crazy part to me is, again, I mean,
Hmm.
after listening to everything you just said, right? Okay, Samsung has been doing this for a minute. They've been trying to make it happen, but now Apple has partnered with one of Samsung's
Subcompany.
sister subdivisions, which is Samsung Display.
Hmm.
Which I would assume is the same people that created the display for the Samsung phone, right?
Hmm.
But now all of a sudden we got the confidence in them that they're going to be able to produce this screen that Apple's looking for.
Well, um, Samsung Display has been doing it for years, and Apple is the one that most likely came up with the technique and the idea. Now, to manufacture the screen, they're gonna need a display a manufacturer, and that's the best one is Samsung Display.
Okay,
They already get their iPhone panels from Samsung. Our screens from iPhones. I was saying in our interest group yesterday, they're Samsung based. Our I think even our watch displays come from two different sources, and one is Samsung, if I'm not mistaken. So other companies do get their display from Samsung, and it's just like that. And when it comes to certain screens, like Apple's gonna do with this foldable one, it's gonna be exclusively only for Apple. You know, but the technique this company, Samsung Display, is gonna find out, they could maybe refine that technique or go a different way of the technique, use a different type of material, and then use it for their Samsung Galaxy or something like that. One of those lines, you know?
right.
Yeah, but sometimes Apple sometimes it's late to the game, but when they do it, they want to do it that it looks like quality.
Right. I mean, it makes sense. Just like, I mean, like you said, they've been trying to do this for years now. Just like, for the last couple of years, they've been promised all of this, Apple Intelligence and all of this.
Hmm.
Well, they've recently backed away from it because it's not what they wanted. It's not what they envisioned.
Well,
So
it's not
they're
that not what they wanted. It's gonna take more intelligence, more of them letting loose on Siri. So
right.
they're saying
Well,
it's
and
not
that's what I'm
ready.
saying. That's what I mean. It's not ready to perform at the level that they want it to. So
Yes,
they're backing up until they can re-engineer everything and get it the way they want it to be before they release it to us.
yes,
So
yes. And plus,
yeah.
they always rely on privacy and security, and they want to make sure everything is straight. And
Well, I mean, again,
and that goes back to what we was talking earlier about our infrastructure and security. We do have infrastructure in China when it comes to iPhones and in cloud storage for some of these corporations and companies. They have it overseas, and our government does use iPhones, you know what I mean? And I don't know how their iCloud or if they're allowed to use that, but some of our data it is overseas, you know?
Right. Well, I mean, I guess they didn't work out all of that. I mean, again, I'm not an expert on none of that, but
Hmm.
everybody always said, iPhone has better security than the rest of the OSs. So uh, I, and I do know that for a long time, the government was upset with Apple because when they would confiscate certain phones from certain folks, like when they had the terrorist attack out here at the
Hmm.
regional
Hmm.
center, all of them folks had iPhones, and Apple just no, you can't get in there until we let you in there. You know what I'm saying? So
Well,
I,
well,
I mean, I
Apple
get
didn't
it.
even have access. Apple was like, we're not even trying to create a tool that could break an iPhone because then what? So even Apple doesn't have access to encrypted data. So the government was suing them and wanted them to help them out and get them access. But the lawsuit went away because of the new type of software they were end up getting. They got a software named Pegasus, and the government has its own type of software. This software also Pegasus costs thousands, I mean tens of thousands of dollars, but it can break through a phone. Um, and that's why this whole lawsuit went away because this tool can get on your phone without you knowing it got on your phone, and it sells for to like police force and governments and oversee intelligence. But this is a project Pegasus is the app the application's name, and I don't want to say application, but it's like malware. It's a spy type thing, and we might bring that to you. We might have to do a article on that, but that's why that lawsuit went away. But Apple was holding firm, and I stand with Apple. I stand with Apple. You
I
know,
do
we
too.
we do have systems that have back doors, and then all of a sudden you hear hackers found a back door because the government or some intelligence agency wants to make it easier on themselves. Hey, if you want to get in my computer, bro, become a hacker. You're in your intelligence. You're there. You're cybersecurity. If you need to get in, get in. But don't put a back door so an ethical hacker will get in and get my information. Because there's ethical hacking and there's unethical hacking. You know.
Right. I
Hacking
hear
is not
you.
bad, guys. Hacking is not bad. Hacking is just finding vulnerabilities on systems. And there's hackers that do this for a job and sell them to Apple. Apple gives you $1 million if you find a vulnerability. Imagine a young college student finds a vulnerability, gets $1 million, boom, pays for his college, could even afford an apartment or even a car, a little $20,000 car or $10,000, $12,000 car. So
Well,
this is why I'm
I mean,
saying we
I
need these
remember
programs.
I remember back when I was younger, right, and computers were still filling up entire buildings, right?
Computer banks.
But they had people that could hack in. I remember one time somebody hacked into a Pacific Bell, right, which used to be our phone company out here, and they had a bunch of damn telephone poles delivered to a certain corner, right, from within their own system. And again, once they found out who the guy was that did this, they gave him a job.
Yeah, he
You
was
know,
phone freaking. That's what it's called, phone freaking. But it's another form of hacking. There is different types of form of hacking,
right? But because
and
he was able to find that vulnerability,
hmm
they wanted to go ahead and hire him to help them prevent from happening again, right?
yes,
So
yes, and
you
that's
know,
why I say we need these programs in our education, because what better than us work on our cybersecurity than us? If we incline everybody to be like that since they're young, they could go into these positions. The intelligence agencies and these public utilities or public companies will have a badge to choose from. But we have people in leadership that don't want to fund the education for these 21st century programs with that we desperately need, because then we import people to come work these cybersecurity jobs or cyber jobs, and we get comments from the administration that's in power right now that says we don't have intelligent people, that's why we hire outside. And that's incorrect. It's just not enough funding for schools. We fund war 10 times over before we will fund our young youth.
But at the same time, they're defunding education. So, so I get the whole point on that. So, but anyway, we are at the end of our show for today. I hope you enjoyed all the information we brought you. Well, I mean, again, I told you up front, dog. I grabbed 3 things that I figured would be right inside your wheelhouse, and so. But again, if you like what we do here, please like, subscribe, share, follow, comment, all that good stuff. I mean, every day we say the same thing. I mean, again, but at the same time, we know, just like today, no comments today, right? But we know there's folks, y'all out there just looking at us, you're listening. You know what I'm saying? What does it hurt to drop in the comments and say, hey, what's up, y'all? Something like that, right? Let us know you're there. Not only that, if you're not, subscribed or whatever, man, go on and do that. You know what I'm saying? If you're not following our page, please go ahead and follow our page. All of that kind of good stuff. It really does help.
Definitely visit our website for all information of Blind United.
Anything you want to know about us now is on our website. We got a brand new website that's really, from what I understand, it really looks good. But from a blind, visually impaired aspect, it's really exceptionally accessible. Okay? If you can find something in there that you cannot do, please let me know, and I'll make sure we get that fixed immediately. When I say immediately, that means forthwith. I mean, for those that don't know what forthwith means.
I don't. I'm young. Ed, explain to the youngsters like me.
Forthwith is, like when you get sentenced to a term in prison or whatever, you can have the judge to make that forthwith. That way you'll get sent to the prison system and out of the county system as soon as possible.
Okay, yeah, because sometimes you sit there and wait for the chain, and oh my God.
Yeah, you can sit there for months. Yeah, you can wait for months trying to get to, to the penitentiary. So.
And your sentence doesn't start until you get there.
Well, I mean, it does, but you can't get that good time like you can in prison. You're not going to get that half time. The sooner you get to prison, the sooner you get to work, the sooner you start getting your half time, which means the sooner you get to come home. But anyway, forthwith is just a legal term of saying right now.
Forthwith.
Okay, so, but anyway.
Next time I hop in an Uber, that's what I'm going to use. Forthwith.
Yeah, forthwith. Get me there forthwith.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Ed. Again for the
All right. Well, everybody, please. Wait a minute. I'm not even on the button up here.
All right. But guys, hit that bell. Earn your wings. I'm just kidding. Just hit that bell. It helps us out. Subscribe. Become a member. And if you find information that's relevant to anyone, including sighted or non-sighted people, share. Because the more information we're able to give out and the more ears hear it, the more it gets out.
And for the sighted folks, I mean, again, we're trying to create some awareness, so the more sighted folks that pay attention to what we're doing over here, the more they understand our community and learn better how to interact with us when they see us out in public. So on that note, I'm ready to hit this button, and I just hope everybody enjoys the rest of your Thursday. And we got one more day left, y'all. We'll see you back again tomorrow. Have a great day.